This time I'll think about what I can't live without. Not sure I'll make it out alive, but I've tried and I can't be satisfied. Can't keep it to myself. My God, I need some help. I'd rather be someone else, but I've tried and I'm tired. I can't be satisfied. I'm tired. I can't be satisfied. Think I'm fine, but I'm out here dying. Still stupid. I'm stuck. It's fucking sickening. Head spinning with nowhere to begin. Can't admit I'm a bit of a problem. I quit. No good for the hell of it. Shit luck, 'cause I can't commit. 'Cause I'm sick and indifferent. Yeah, I tried, I'm so tired. I can't be satisfied. I'm tired, I can't be satisfied. Say I'm fine, but I'm fucking dying. Can't kick it, still stupid. I'm stuck, it's fucking sickening. Head spinning with nowhere to begin. Can't admit I'm a bit of a problem. I quit. Holy shit, I'm a bit of a problem. I quit. Can't admit I'm a bit of a problem. I quit. Holy shit, I'm a big fucking dick fucking shit. I admit I'm a whole fucking problem. I quit.
Hi, my name is Rizza Cabrera. You can call me Riz, Rizza, Zach, or Z, but I do prefer Z. I'm Z2. I will also be appearing from time to time in this form because there are things in the video that I said that I feel should be expounded on, or I said things that were wrong and I would like to correct it. If you've seen any of my videos from the past, or if you've heard any of the songs that I've made prior to this video, you're probably thinking that the song that you just heard is something out of the ordinary for me. But there's a reason that I wrote that song, and it is because I have ADHD, and October is ADHD Awareness Month, which is why I'm posting this video now. That and the song and the video itself are like a retelling and a reenactment of one of my many meltdowns because of ADHD. People with ADHD are more likely to experience meltdowns, so I would like to take this time to thank my wonderful partner Meg for putting up with my meltdowns before I knew that having ADHD is what caused me to have a lot of. Obviously in a better place now, so meltdowns have subsided somehow, but still likely to happen. So I want to talk about my ADHD because I feel like there's a need to talk about it, especially if there's someone out there who has or is going through something similar and is at their wits' end trying to figure out what's wrong with them. So I'll be speaking from a place of frustration, or rather I'll be talking mostly about how frustrating it was and is for me having ADHD. I could talk about being medicated, but I've only recently started on medication, and by recent I mean around a week ago, so I don't feel like I have enough experience to talk about it. Maybe in another video, but who knows. Okay, before anything else, just a disclaimer, I am not a medical professional, so I'll mostly be talking about my own experiences, but I will be putting in helpful links in the description box down below that you can check out to learn more about ADHD. If you're someone who is uninterested in the topic and would rather be watching another video, by all means click out of this video. It is completely fine. Close the tab if you want. Open Netflix or whatever streaming platform you prefer. It's all good. I understand. It's not really something that everyone's interested in learning, but I personally believe that people should know more about it. Let's start with the definition of ADHD. So according to the National Institute of Mental Health, and this is a link that I'm including in the description box, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder is a disorder marked by an ongoing pattern of inattention and or hyperactivity impulsivity that interferes with functioning or development. What I usually hear from people when they talk about ADHD, people who don't have ADHD and don't believe in ADHD, what they usually say, or what I've heard people say, is that everyone is a little bit ADHD, because I think they're pertaining to the stereotype of ADHD, which is, oh my god, squirrel, like having a short attention span. And I've heard people speculate that the reason for a lot of people having ADHD is because of social media, which is not the case. I mean, okay, it shortens your attention span and it may take a while for you to break out of that short attention span mindset. I meant to say it'll take you some time to recalibrate into having a long enough attention span. But social media is not the cause of ADHD. It is something that you are born with. One of the doctors that I'm going to link down below explained it really, really well. This is his name. I've forgotten it, but this is his name. So just look for the link in the description box. So now on to my experiences. I've dropped out of 3 colleges. I have never stayed in a job for more than 2 or 3 months. And for the longest time, I didn't know why until I finally got diagnosed with ADHD. Me dropping out of college was something that frustrated my parents and I, mostly my parents, because whenever they talk about me and what they saw in me as I was growing up, they always said that I was intelligent, competent, and capable, and that I only lacked focus. My teachers have said something similar. They've written those words on my report cards every single year, every single term. But for me, the way I've seen myself my whole life is I've always had a difficult time organizing my day and my tasks. I've always fallen short on having to follow through with projects. And I always had difficulty doing things that other people seem to not have a problem doing. It's like in grade school and high school, right? Or since kindergarten up until high school, I always got good grades with little to no effort. But even if my grades were okay, I just felt incredibly stupid. They had no problems submitting things on time. They had no problems interacting with other students. They had no problems just keeping up. And I didn't understand why I couldn't do it. And that frustration built up inside of me through the years. My struggles got more pronounced when I hit college. That's when shit hit the fan for me, because I just couldn't. There was no structure like grade school and high school that could keep me in check. But even if I tried to keep myself in check, like if I could show you my notebooks right now and all my organizers that I've kept through the years, I've done pretty much everything that I've heard of and everything that I could think of to help myself get on the same level or same starting point that everyone was at. But I just couldn't. I have 2 whiteboards attached to my door where I used to write my to-dos for the day and my to-dos for the week. But even if that was there's something called object permanence, or maybe it's another term. Whatever the term is, I'm posting it on the screen. But for me and some people who have expressed having this experience, people who have ADHD as well, having things visible to you 24/7 is good, but also bad. If I want to remember something, I have to put it in front of me so I can see it, and I'm like, oh right, that is there. There's something that I have to do. But on the flip side, if I see it too much, I'm gonna forget it's there, and my brain just ignores it completely. Anyway, I've done everything that I could, and I just couldn't figure out why I couldn't stick to things, and I couldn't follow through with things, and why I was jumping from one thing to the next. In between my college experiences, I would take up different jobs and be a part of different projects, whether it's mine or with a friend, and I never followed through with any of them. In the jobs that I was in, I wouldn't last for more than 2 or 3 months, and it wasn't because they kicked me out or they fired me, but I would just quit because I couldn't do it. I'd like lose interest, and I didn't know then that it was because I was losing interest, but I would just quit. I put a lot of emphasis on me losing interest as the reason behind me not being able to do certain things, but I later realized that I also struggle with executive functioning, so I have executive dysfunction. So that coupled with ADHD symptoms, no bueno. And that just added to the frustration pile. Through the years, just continuously adding to the motherfucking pile. I've wanted to get help since I was 17, but it took me 9 years to get diagnosed. And that's because whenever I asked for help, people would always tell me that I didn't need help, that I was just imagining my struggles, that I was just being stubborn, that I was just being difficult, or I wasn't seeing life a certain way. Add that on to the frustration pile. Whenever I asked my parents for help, my friends, my mentors, my teachers, my professors, they would always point back to things that I've accomplished or done in the past and say, well, you did that, so you can do it again. Will you put this much effort in that, so you can put that much effort in whatever you're doing right now? And it just made me feel like a fraud. It made me feel like I wasn't struggling. So I told myself I wasn't struggling, even if I was struggling, because other people told me that I wasn't struggling or that I didn't have the right to be struggling because I was able to do those things in the past. And yeah, it was just a cycle. It was just a seemingly never-ending loop. I believed other people because you hear it all the time, right? Like, oh, you need others for an outside perspective. Other people see things that you don't. Well, other people also don't see things that you see. So to motherfucking shame, man. Like, they only see certain parts of my life, parents included. They don't get to see me throughout the day. They don't get to get a peek into my brain at any point in the day. So they didn't really know what was going on. Yeah, everything piled up. The whole frustration pile fell on top of me, and I finally got help. I got a diagnosis behind my parents' backs, and I'm glad that I did, because that changed my world. Like, it opened my eyes. Like, it changed my perspective. It changed my understanding of myself and of myself in relation to my surroundings. That was when I started accepting that, okay, my brain is wired differently, so I can't expect myself to perform the same way others are performing because we don't have the same brain. That's when I started becoming kinder to myself. But even then, even after the diagnosis, the frustration didn't exactly wane. It was more manageable, but it didn't disappear. It was absolutely still there. But I had enough ammo to kind of keep myself in check from time to time and push forward. God knows where I would be now had I not gotten that diagnosis. So I'm glad that I did. After getting diagnosed, though, I think I was still kind of in denial because of everything that everyone else around me was telling me. So it took another 3 years for me to get medicated, and now I'm on the meds. First round, though, first try, so I don't know if this is it. I'm only a week in, so there's not much I can say about it, but I do feel calmer. So there's that. Whole life I felt frustrated with myself because I felt so stupid, so incapable, and so dumb. There's this one analogy that I used in another video that I recorded, and I think it explains the frustration and shame that comes with having undiagnosed ADHD. It felt like I had a broken leg, but since I was wearing pants and there was no blood and no one can see my bones, no one believed that I had a broken leg, and everyone was forcing me to climb stairs when I wanted to use the elevator, and then I got shamed for using the elevator because I could have used the stairs because the flight that we had to be on was just on the second floor. It felt like that. So that's what it was like my whole life. Just me knowing that there's something wrong, being told that nothing was wrong, and then eventually learning that I was right, but even after knowing that I'm right, feeling even more so frustrated because this was something that people could have helped me with early on, Had my teachers known about it, I absolutely would have fought harder to get help back then. There are schools in the Philippines that cater to students with ADHD. I'm gonna link a list of it in the description box, but there are no colleges that have accommodations for students with ADHD. If you know of one, please let me know. I am in college now, but I'm trying to live my life to cater to my ADHD, or rather to highlight my ADHD, because I've done the opposite my whole life and it didn't work out for me. And I think at this point, that's my best bet because I've ignored it for the longest time. So I want to give this a shot. I want to put my having ADHD at the center of my life right now. It's really interesting how the name and the definition for ADHD changed throughout the years, because when it first got picked up by doctors, they thought it was something only boys could have and something that would end when children would reach adulthood. But it is not. And from that understanding, now it's understood as something that persists from childhood well into adulthood. There are also people that are against the way that the disorder is named because it's not attention that we have a deficit of. Another reason that people are saying that the disorder is named poorly is because the way it was named suggests that it is something that inconveniences others, or rather something like it feels like it was named based off of how it inconveniences others. There's a lot to learn about it, and it affects more people than you think. People shit on self-diagnosis, but I feel like if that is all that you have right now, like if you don't have the means to get professional help, self-diagnosis is something that you can do. That's something that I did in finally realizing that I do have ADHD. And there are a lot of people online that say that that's how they found out they had it, because they saw a video about ADHD or they saw someone talk about their own ADHD experiences and they related to it, and then that's what made them seek professional help. So if self-diagnosis is all that you have right now, do it with a lot of research. And if you're someone who knows someone who has ADHD, it doesn't hurt to learn about the disorder as well, because there's a lot about it that we can't tell you. And if your friend or family member goes to you wanting to talk about their ADHD experience, just hear them out, because it's probably their way of processing their own experiences, and it's also a way for them to help you help them. That's all for now. That's where I'm going to end this video. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and I'll see you in the next one, whenever that may be. Bye.